Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is Mr. Chow from EnglishTuition.org. Well, we have been through a couple of months of home-based learning now because of the circuit breaker measures. So when the government first announced that the circuit breaker is going to be in place, school will be stopped almost immediately. So we kind of scrambled for a while to try to make the transition from the offline live lessons to the online lessons. So for the first month, which is in April, I actually cancelled all the lessons and immediately started recording English lessons for all my students. And I uploaded those lessons to my website so that they can access the lessons on their own. At the same time, some of the students, I will try to send them an invite on Zoom or using Cisco WebEx. And we will try to do an online conferencing session so that I can catch up with what they have been doing. Now, by the time we get to May, most of us are already quite adjusted to the home-based learning, and I had more time to prepare for the lessons online. And at the same time, we can learn from the lessons that we have conducted in April. So May was a time of stabilization for us. And by the end of May, I'm already improving on the way I conduct the online lessons, and I also try to add some animations to my PowerPoint slides to make my presentation more interesting to them. And this video will contain some bits and pieces of what we have done so far for the past couple of months. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon in the next video.
So let's look at the first type. Okay, first question type, okay, is to always the question will require you to demonstrate your understanding of the text. That's why we call it a comprehension, right? So how can they ask you, right? The very first type of question that you will see is to support your ideas with 3 details from the text. So whenever you see a question like this, okay, let me find my cursor. What you need to do is to quote the details from the text, okay, and then explain the quote, okay, the details. Okay, so if you forget to quote, -1 mark, even though you explain. Okay, so all in all, it's a 3-mark question. Usually, it's the beginning, in the beginning of the comprehension. Okay. Okay, another type of question, right? Which phrase suggests that the writer was embarrassed, unhappy, exasperated, etc.? Now, of course, if you get simple words in these questions like unhappy and embarrassed, everybody knows about it, all right? Then it's easier to answer, right? But if you get a word like exasperated, right? What does it mean? Okay, it actually means quite desperate and it's a negative adjective, okay? So you need to understand this before you can, you are able to pick the correct phrase. Again, is to demonstrate your understanding of the text, not just in the comprehension passage itself, but also in the question itself. You need to understand what exactly the question is trying to ask you. All right. Another example, explain in your own words what this expense is, right? So again, test your vocab. So you have never come across the word expense. This is not equal to the expense that you usually see, right? So these actually refer to something, or an area that is very large. All right. So you need to explain in your own words what this word means. Okay, again, testing your vocabulary, testing your understanding of the text. Okay, another example. What does this phrase tell you about the characters? Character something, right? Could be personality, character, 3 alphabets.
Oh, okay.
Let's see how many score you
Can we
can
form
do.
names?
Names cannot.
Ha.
It's starting. Started already. You want to restart? Let's restart. I got 3 minutes.
I don't know.
Let's restart. Okay. Okay, first game we played.
Hello. Hello. H-E-L-L-O.
H-E-L-L-O.
Oh,
Oh, 3
enter.
marks. Very good. Okay. Map. What else? Pet.
A-M. No, cannot.
I think. What else?
Ho. H-O-E.
Yeah, that's one. Okay, but if you add
H-O-L-E.
L-E. Look at that. Good. I would suggest that you write, okay, the keywords being positive, okay, and personality, right? So a lot of the writing that you are going to go about doing, okay, has to be positive. All right, so here's some possibilities, right? You can choose any character in your life, right? Could be parents, could be older siblings, teachers, grandparents. I think we have almost, I don't know, did somebody choose parent? Don't have, I think. Older siblings don't have. Teachers have. Grandparents have. But nobody wrote about idols or celebrities. So it doesn't have to be somebody who's related to you. Okay, so it can be a celebrity that that you admire for certain qualities, right? For example, this um the background story of the celebrity, right? He come from maybe a poor family. He was very hardworking. He has some values that align with your own personal values. So you can always describe this character, and doesn't have to be somebody you know, right? Your family member or your relatives. Okay. So let's, for example, you choose a teacher, like maths teacher. I'm careful not to choose English teacher because like then you'll think of me. Okay. So then you have a lot of adjectives to describe the personality. Okay. Now doesn't always have to be all positive because we are not describing an angel right now. We are describing a human being, right? So it's more realistic if you have mostly positive but maybe some negatives. That's perfectly fine. Okay, because sometimes the negatives can also become the positive. Like you have somebody who is very hot tempered, okay, but at the same time cheerful. Okay, but cheerful doesn't mean cheerful all the time, right? But sometimes the person, very same person, have been moody as well. All right, and somebody who comes across as aggressive at first may actually turn out to be just very strict, okay, for the good of
The presence of free trade agreements allow countries to promote trade, okay, as they facilitate smooth trading. So that means they either remove all the import-export duties altogether between these countries to facilitate the ease of movement of the goods and services. Okay, so if without this free trade agreement, for example, let's say you want to export certain items like cigarettes, okay, or some food stuff. Cigarette is not a good example. Okay, food stuff to another country. Okay, and you don't have this free trade agreement, your goods, because of the taxes that you have to pay, your prices would not be competitive compared to other food sources. Okay, so it's in everyone's interest to participate in these free trade agreements. Okay, so that if your country has got rice, I don't have, but I have other products and services. So you export your food to me, I export something else to you. Okay, that's how it functions. So even in terms of paperwork, subsidies and everything, okay, it's a lot easier when you have free trade agreements in place. So that's like having a passport. So you go through the customs, they make it very easy for you simply because these agreements are in place. So communication is rapid due to the growth of telecommunications structure. Okay, like we have our broadband. Okay, because of this infrastructure, instead of just having text, okay, we can have video. Okay, meetings, online lessons, and whatever.